like the way I whip it up, I need another wrist. Look like the way I dip it down, I need another beat.
Sports, the radio show, or the podcast, if you will. And I am your host, the one, the only, Notorious Sports Critic for the sports fan out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Brent Reed. I forgot my name. That is the God honest truth. And you are listening to DownRight Sports here on DynastyRadioNY.com, which means it is Thursday, which means it's 8 o'clock, which means the number one show out there is on right now. I don't know if I'm the number one show, but I think if you say it enough, people will believe it. So, the number one show is on right now. If you listen to the podcast, that means it's 9 o'clock, or it's any time, because you can listen to a podcast anytime. So, thank you for listening. But if you're watching on Facebook Live right now, thank you for watching. It is awesome. Some of our familiar friends is out there. President Barack Obama, the Pope himself, the Iron Sheik. There are a lot of great people watching this show right now, so you should join them as well. All right? And by the way, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there, to all the people in relationships, to all the people that are single, to all the people that are asexual. That is a thing. So, happy Valentine's Day to you and yours, and I hope you enjoy. Breaking news right now. Anthony Davis is walking off the court gingerly. Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers looks like he is walking off the court gingerly. Either he has a cramp, a pulled ligament, or he has to poo-poo. Because that's what that walk looked like. That's what that walk looked like. To some of the regulars out there, my man Raymond, welcome back to the show. I don't know if you were there last week, but welcome back. My man Uncle Buddha's on. The theme music, if you listen to the radio or the podcast, the theme music is done by the one, the only Uncle Buddha, who this summer is going to say his nuptials. I think that's how it is. And I will have the honor and the privilege to be there. That should be fun. So yeah, I have to get drunk for him and me, because Uncle Buddha doesn't drink anymore. So congrats, Uncle, to my man Uncle Buddha, a man who does it right, does it tight, and does it all night. Woo! So what that is, ladies and gentlemen, is a way. There's nothing that happened this week that's worth me just kicking off the show to talk about. So I just killed like 4 minutes. That's called being a professional. Anyway, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl last week, and ESPN the last 2 weeks has been basically trying to find ways to compare Tom Brady to other great players. Trying to, compare him to LeBron. Yeah, because they came up in the same period. They're the same type of player. I don't find that. I don't believe in that. I think it's dumb. I hate to use the word dumb, but I think it's irresponsible that whoever runs ESPN allowed that to happen. The only comparisons is that they're athletes. Tom Brady has a winning record in championships, while LeBron James has a losing record. Good segue, Brent. So the question between now and the end of time, everybody's always going to ask, or everybody's always going to compare, who's the greatest? Oh, so-and-so's the greatest because of this. So-and-so's the greatest because of that. So-and-so's the greatest because he eats tomatoes on the baseball bat. That was the best rhyme I could come up with, so don't you judge me. So, here's where I stand. This is my show, so I will tell you what I believe qualifies you to put yourself at the top of the mountain, okay? To put yourself at the top of the hill. To put yourself in a situation where you, sir or ma'am, are above and beyond your peers. That's how we're supposed to compare the greats. Great, in the word, Buddha, help me out here. If you think about mythological, if you think about like the gods, the Greek gods, like Zeus and all of them, they look down at people. They look down on the mortal world, and they've held themselves higher, right? Am I not right? Am I right, Tim? Write me if I'm right, Tim. I need to know. So, in the case of great athletes, you can't, like Wayne Gretzky, for example. I think the world has forgotten how great Wayne Gretzky is. How thank you, Timmy. Tim said, yep. Here we go. My man Raymond giving me the input. Greatness is a body of work over a period of time. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to get there. Look at Wayne Gretzky and what he did. He holds records to this day that nobody's touching. Alexander Ovechkin has to play an entire season next year just to tie him in points scored, if I'm not mistaken. And even then, Wayne Gretzky still holds like 6 more records that nobody will touch. Do you hold records? When they close the book on you, are you in the record books? Are people chasing you? Are you Babe Ruth, where you've been dead longer than you played and they still chasing your records? And finally, what was your impact to the sport? So, for example, Serena Williams is automatically on my list. She has an exemption. Why? She's a monster. Now, I can make an argument that her level of competition may not have been great as her predecessors in the prior years. Ali was one who coined the phrase, to be the man, you gotta, woo! Absolutely. To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that. Number 3. Now, my last thing outside of impacting, you gotta just be a winner. And Mike, you know why Mike is better than LeBron all time? You know why Kobe is just right there? They never publicly went out their way to look for help openly. Now, maybe they went to the front office and was like, yo, go give me some help. But they never went out their way to look for help. They didn't just concede like their first and last name was General Lee, Robert E. Lee. They just didn't concede and roll over. They did what they could. People could poke holes in Jordan's career. Jordan played on Chicago his entire career, and if you wanted to play with Mike, you had to come to Chicago. All right? Now, in the cases of LeBron and Kevin Durant, 2 different stories, okay? LeBron and Chris Bosh joined D-Wade as free agents and put together that team. Kevin Durant tucked his tail and went to a team that was already created. Does it mean Kevin Durant's not a great player? Absolutely. He's a great player. He's a great champion. But don't give me that he's in a different category because he tucked his tail in.
The vibes, man, is DJ Chase, Downright Sports. Shout out to the hottest sports podcast. Shout out to my guy, Brent Reed. You know the vibes, man. You see him in front of the Superdome. You feel me? Every Thursday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Dynasty Radio, Kim Dynasty. You know the vibes, Downright Sports, the hottest sports podcast out. Let's go.
The beast. And when you have defensive players like J.J. Watt, once-in-a-lifetime defensive players like Mr. J.J. Watt, you go at nothing to make sure you clear roster space for him. So, here we go. So, if I was the general manager of the New York Giants, I would be salivating to get my hands on J.J. Watt. Why? I'll tell you why. The Giants are notoriously known for the Giants are known for defense. The Giants aren't known for being this offensive great team. The Super Bowls we won in the 80s was defense. In fact, the Super Bowl, the year we beat the Bills, the final score was like 9-3, if I'm not mistaken. That was just an all defense. And that Bills team was offensively great. But the Giants' defense. The years we beat the Patriots, defense. One year, I think the final score was 19-14. Defense. The Giants must rebuild that defense. And what better way than to go get a guy like a J.J. Watt who can fit in with that New York press. He's not going to get bogged down. We want to be a club rat. He's not going to be up all night. He's the perfect fit and the perfect captain as you rebuild that team. Moving on. The Washington Redskins. The Washington football team. Apologies. The team formerly known as the Redskins. All right? They got a young man on defense right now in Chase Young. What better mentor than J.J. Watt to have with him out there? And now if you're the Washington football team, your defense, which was very good last year, by the way, is even better. And now all you got to do is either pray Alex Smith can keep his leg intact, and you will find yourself perhaps the front runner of that terrible NFC East. Staying in the NFC East, how about you just go up the street or you go up the highway or whatever the heck, you go to Dallas. Who doesn't want, as crappy as the Cowboys are, as crappy as Jerry Jones has run that team the last 30 years, the star is still the star. Like the pinstripes are the pinstripes, like the Lakers yellow and gold is the Lakers yellow and gold. Raymond got Washington has 4 first rounders on that D. Ooh, so added Mr. J.J. Watt, and you got to. I'm telling you, Washington is an offense. Is just that the switch is there, and I like the head coach because Ron Rivera's a good head coach. Just look at his track record in Carolina. The guy went to the Super Bowl. I mean, he ain't that bad. Now back to my argument. You put J.J. Watt on Dallas. That's I think the piece the Cowboys need. They don't have a guy that's going to be disciplined enough to just check those guys, grab collars, and be like, get your crap together. They need J.J. Watt in Dallas. He's, as Stephen A. Smith would say, he's star power. Box office. He is box office. He's Showtime ready, if you will. And I think it's time. Dallas needs, that's the move. That's the George Steinbrenner, Jerry Jones move that needs to be done. I don't want to see J.J. Watt playing for some poop butt team next year. I don't want to hear that the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Miami Dolphins or some other, again, poop butt team sign J.J. Watt. I want to see J.J. go to a market somewhere because he's played in Texas where he was in where he was the afterthought there. Put him somewhere where he's going to be front and center. It's time. It's time for him to get his shine. That should be a t-shirt. It's time for him to get his shine. And then why not go to New England and play for one of the best defensive coaches of all time? I don't know. Bill Belichick. Belichick, you tried to do it last year with Cam, but one thing you proved, you're still great. Raymond, you're right. Watch him end up in Tampa Bay like some LeBron mess. Just go chase the ring. So everybody is becoming like a serial character in sports. Let's chase the ring. And kids is like, you never have my ring. He's like, I want you. Never mind. Sorry, I want to tangent. Any case, you put J.J. Watt in New England. Bill Belichick sees him and just faints and just goes, oh my God, I have Lawrence Taylor reincarnated as a white guy. Now you find yourself in you can't lose playing for Bill Belichick. You can't lose playing for Joe Torre. All right, I know Joe don't manage no more, but you got my point. All right, now it's funny Raymond brings up Tampa Bay because I think, and that's why I left them last, the team that needs to, not wants to, but needs to. Hold on, let me back up. Raymond said the Pats need the quarterback. Now, Raymond, you know like I know, Bill Belichick can take me, you, and half the people watching right now, and just as long as he's got a great defense, he can help us get through. All right, JJ. So the guy, I mean, he just had an off year. All right, maybe he didn't want to go to playoffs this year. All right, Pats need everything. Tim says, yeah, we all need everything, but you're probably right, Tim. You know what's crazy, Tim? You say that, they'll win the AFC East again next year, or they'll finish second or some weird thing because he'll just build that team up. Anyway, back to my point. The last team that needs him is the Kansas City Chiefs. If I'm Andy Reid, I'm sitting in my room and I'm watching that Super Bowl and I'm watching how there was zero pressure on Tom Brady. Zero pressure on anybody. No type of penetration. It is Valentine's Day and it was zero penetration in the Super Bowl. Zero. Tim caught that. All I'm saying is, you get a J.J. Watt. You hit me with the boo. Timmy hit me with a boo. You get a J.J. Watt if you're Kansas City Chiefs. And you put him on a team that was embarrassed, as he said in the Great White Hype. You tried to embarrass me on live TV? Well, they got embarrassed. Boo, because it's true. Boo. Well, Tim, that's what I do. What do you call me? Breaking news. If the playoffs started today, the Knicks would be in the playoffs? I just had a brain aneurysm. The Knicks would be in the playoffs if forget the Brooklyn Nets. The Knicks are the 7th seed? Do my eyes deceive me? The Knicks are the 7th seed. Holy Moses, hallelujah. The Knicks have turned it around. The Knicks ain't been this high, this late in the season in forever. Since the Carmelo years, and those were dark years. The Knicks are 13-15. Don't look at the record. They're the 7th seed. They're ahead of the Raptors. They're ahead of the Heat. They're ahead of Atlanta. The Knicks. Now, granted, they would play the Bucks in the first round, but every Knicks fan in America will rejoice just to see New York's favorite team in the playoffs. Let me give you, you know what? Forget what I was going to talk about. The Knicks are in the playoffs if it ended today. Let me explain something to you. All right? Let me explain something to everybody out there. The Knicks had at least a respectable chance of maybe making the championship. And to be honest with you, a Knicks team that's assembled like this, we've seen Knicks teams with lesser talent make it to the championship and be like, how the hell they get there? All right? We all remember 99, okay? Yeah, they had Sprewell. Yeah, they had Allen Houston. But let's not forget, that was the last year the Warriors, the great number 33. That's all I'm going to say, because if you don't know who the hell number 33 is, don't listen to my show. He gave everything he could to get us there, and then he just fell apart. But let me tell you something. Let me tell everybody something. I don't care if the Brooklyn Nets sign LeBron, D-Wade, Carmelo Anthony, George Gervin, Larry Bird, my mother, the entire cast from Hamilton. If the Knicks in Madison Square Garden is hosting a playoff game, you can cancel Christmas. That team that plays on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn can't hold a candle to the Garden on a Saturday while the Knicks are in competition for a championship. We all watched them in the 90s. Some of you seen them in the 80s. Some of you witnessed them when they won their last championship. But you know, when the blue and orange is good, it's good for New York. It's good for the economy. It's good for the country, damn it. And right now, the Knicks are red. I knew they were going good, and I was afraid to talk about them. But I didn't know Julius Randolph and Tom Thibodeau had them boys there. I'm going to have to devote all next week. That's the best Valentine's Day gift I got all day. And my lady made me lasagna tonight, guys. Look, and it was fantastic. But the Knicks being the number 7th seed, holy Moses. Only thing that can make this better is if we find out James Dolan sold the team to like some smart person who wants to not do anything. Oh, that'd be great. Sometimes. All right. Thank you all. It's been fun. Be safe. I know the weather's been crazy, everybody, so be safe. Also, COVID's still out there. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wear the mask. I know it's annoying, but just put it on. Be safe. Be responsible. I want everybody around going forward. And I'm out of words to say. Happy Valentine's Day. Be safe. A lot of babies going to be born a couple months from now. You feel me? And just name them after me. All right, everybody. As always, deuces.